Let me help you out with that. Phones are wonderful. So welcome to self-realization, and we'll just start with our gratitude. Mother, Father, God, we give gratitude and thank yous for this day. We ask for your infinite light of protection to be with us and through us, wherever we are, so that only the highest and best will occur through our thoughts, words, and actions. And through those thoughts, words, and actions will lead us to a better understanding of our own self. So when we meet those on our path, we have a better understanding of them. We give thanks for this day. Amen.
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 So today we'll be talking about radiation and attraction. So like attracts like. David, talk about that.
Casey, were you going to say something?
No, but I was thinking things. I was actually thinking about something that was interesting is like attracts like, but sometimes is there people that come to us because there's a need for us? An example is my good friend just came to visit with me, and he opened up about his hardships he's going through and his contemplation with taking his life. These are things that I haven't resonated with in myself, but he's come into my space, and now he's feeling healing, and he's feeling there is a purpose for life. So I don't know if my joyous nature attracted him to come to me, to be open about his feelings, to heal himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you experienced was exactly that. That everyone that comes to you is an attraction, and there's something in the message that you have that will help that person do something to move from that. And the thing, one of the things that is important to realize that attraction is that there's something in your life where you went through something very similar to what he's going through. And that's what's draws you to it. And then what we do is that we assimilate ourselves to that condition. And what happens that you know, remember subjective attention is that when you pay attention to an event and everything like this, you are getting immediate results. And so attraction is that, you know, and so and the thing is that you don't go jumping on yourself because you were in that space before. Just know that that is knowledge that you have available, and the things that you're going to be saying are going to be very valuable for that person and yourself. The thing here is that when people come to you with an attraction and everything like this also has to do with you, and so you can start concentrating on changing that in your life. And this helps you to keep an open mind and everything, and so you don't have to bat yourself up because well, why do I do a thing like that for? The thing you did do a thing like that, and now you got knowledge and the words that you're going to be saying are going to be very beneficial for not only you but also for the person that you're coming in contact with.
Yes. It feels like you're right. It feels like I have gone through that like a long period of time ago. Mm-hmm. But when he came to me with this information, and I care for this person, I've known him 26 years. I already knew before he came that there was something dwelling in him, a storm. Mm-hmm. And when he released this information to me regarding, you know, how dark he got, the period of darkness he got, and how he's really suffering from it, I came from a very non-judgmental, unbiased, and I just asked my higher consciousness, my true self, to speak with authenticity and love to him. Mm-hmm. And literally that night he cried and he purged all his tears. And all I did is say, I'm here and I love you. You deserve happiness, health, and wealth. And the next day, it was almost like a light bulb went off in his head. He's glowing, and we just went and saw the roses, and we just did things with nature, and it was just so beautiful. So that law of attraction, I always felt like, oh, I'm attracting what I want, but sometimes what I am is I'm that beacon of light that that darkness needs, that comes to me so they can heal.
Well, you know, one of the things that I found with what you're going through and everything like this, that it's important to realize that you have the knowledge of what's going on, because you went through, you've gone through it. There isn't anything that we haven't done in our life, and to be able to look at it as openly and without any real harsh judgment and everything like this, accepting you. Once you accept yourself as you are, you can receive these attractions with much more ease. Then you know, I always remember this person who that was coming to me for past life regressions, and she was getting stabbed in the back all the time. He said, I know this person stabbed me in the back, but they keep on doing that, you know. And so I said something that I said, let's take this another step further, and that have you ever realized that maybe you stabbed someone in the back? And she had a real strange look on her face. And then she started working on forgiving herself for that. And about 6 months later, she come over and says, you know, you mentioned about me stabbing someone in the back. I've done that, and I've forgiven myself for that. And now I don't get stabbed in the back anymore. So you see, the universe is an attraction, and once you fully understand that attraction, then anything that some people think is very negative and everything like this, it's your path, and you're going to be able to move from that, and you'll be able to accept people, and especially yourself. One of the main agreements of development is to be able to accept yourself as you are, and when you have done that and everything like this, the people that you're meeting, you'll have much more compassion for, and much more abilities to move through things yourself, and not go through the, oh, why did I do a thing like that? That's one thing that you eliminate. See, that's an elimination. That's an attraction too, is elimination. Your elimination, another part of your development.
You're right. I didn't go into the what, why did I didn't re-attract my past. It was like a lesson that I learned, absorbed, and used light and love to heal. So when he came with me with this information, I was a clear space to receive and to heal him without any resonation or any kind of like bringing back the past of my own life, my own self. Just pure is the best word to say it. Oops. There I am.
I'm staying clear from that phone. I'm like, don't do it. It happens.
Yeah, I wanted to also mention that for every action there is a reaction. So every attraction there is a reaction to that attraction. So it's like you know, for myself, I have realized that there have been teachers that have come to me in different ways, that they all have different faces and stuff, but they're all basically the same lesson. And I start realizing, okay, how am I reacting to this time? And I feel like I pat myself on the back when I've reacted in a way that's a little bit better than I did last time. Maybe I didn't do it, you know, as perfectly as I would have liked, but maybe next time I will. And so it's like sometimes the people that come to us have lessons for us that help us with our reaction to that situation.
Yeah, and to take it another step further is that every person that we meet comes from an attraction that's within us. And it gives us a step to take to clear out that ourselves too. And this will ease up so much of it. And then when you won't find yourself giving you a hard time because you went through it. Once you realize that you did the same thing that they're doing and everything like this, and know the knowledge of that, you are free from that. And you're able to really evolve yourself. And this is every time I start a new class, everyone in that class is my teacher.
100%.
And I treat it that way and everything, and so I get much more accomplished that way.
You know, David, when you would say, when we were doing services, and you'd say, and you're the speaker, and you didn't have anything written, he would wait, and he'd wait until everyone came in that chapel, and then he'd say, okay, I'm ready. You know, because who was in it would, you know, be the result of what was going to be talked about at that point. And I kind of relate it to this because, you know, only would you know by all the energy of the people what was going to be the, you know, radiation or the attraction, right?
Right.
Mm.
I did this talk one time in Green Valley, at Unity in Green Valley, and the minister of that church didn't do the fifth Sunday, so he asked me to do the fifth Sunday, you know, and so I get there. I usually get about a half hour ahead of time, and I go, and he says, "Where's your class? Where's your talk?" I said, "It's not here yet." He said, "What?" It comes here, but when the last person comes through the door, it's here.
Yeah.
Oh, was he really confused? He was really, and then when the service was over, he had a big smile on his face. I met the thing that he was. I talked the language that he was talking and everything, and I said that talk many times, and I knew what was going on, and the whole place was accepting of it, you know. There's not much difference in the unity teaching than what I've done, you know, and so that was a nice experience to go through.
Yeah, I bet for him too, because
Yeah.
he was.
Oh yeah, he was very good. He was very concerned about how I'm going to talk.
Yeah. So used to writing out.
I attend a Unity church on Sundays. I love Unity, the Unitarian belief systems, Christ conscious, Buddhism, Taoism, everything. And there is one teacher there who never has a script, but he does exactly what you said, Reverend David. He's just like the energy in the room, and then he's a channel, he's a conduit, and he's like, there's no script. I'm speaking just from all of us together in a conscious web.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you know, but I have another lady who's there who's very scripted, has her PowerPoint, but I still pick up great things from both, which I love. You can be scripted or you can be non-scripted and feel all that resonate, all that love and resonation, or what's the word, resonates within you, you know.
Right. You know, when I developed that, you know, I used to make up my talks, you know, and I said, oh, this is a great talk, you know, and I got to Sunday to talk, you know, and I couldn't see it. Everything was white.
God, could you imagine?
So I just started talking, you know, and Dr. Becker said, now that's how you can do this. It's just like giving a message and everything like this, and do it. And I tried to give that class another time, talk another time, and the same thing happened. I said, "Oh, I got the point," and it's been that way ever since.
Boy, is that's a lesson for ourselves, big, you know, coming from school and then, you know, giving our rule of what we need to do and how we need to have it, and then we just go right off the cuff and just let spirit talk through us, you know.
and you know, one of the benefits of this, you know, is that I found the things that I talked during that talk that I didn't know what I was talking about was into the ancients and the things that they taught 25,000 years ago that they've sort of slipped away doing everything like this, you know. And so I just kept on doing it. I knew that it was going to work out. Everything. So, and we all have that ability within us. We attract what we are. And this is a good indication of where we are in this world. All you got to do is take a look at your associates and you know where you are.
So sometimes I have these problems, though. I think all of you seem to be a bit more aware of what you're attracting, because I know sometimes that I attract things, but I don't know why I keep attracting them. I suppose I shouldn't talk about my brother-in-law. He's a great guy in many ways. He's very quirky and he has wonderful parts of him, but when we get in the car, our car, he hates wearing seatbelts, and he used to be a doctor. And I said, look, anybody who comes into my car has to wear a seatbelt. So every time he gets in my car, he starts on the seatbelt thing. I got to get used to it. And I'm trying there to be very, very patient, going, just ignore it, just take it out, take it. And then at some point I just snap. It's like, for God's sake, just put your seatbelt on, you know. Look, it says here, look, you don't have to wear your seatbelt in the back. I go, George, please wear your seatbelt. Don't wear it for me, wear it for yourself, wear it for your wife, wear it for your family. So we go through this every time, thankfully not very often, like 4 times a year. And I'm going, what is the universe telling me here? Because I've tried being patient, I've tried ignoring it, I've tried seeing his point of view, I've tried all these things, and I just get really irritated every single time. I try to go with the idea, we're going to get the car, we're going to have a nice ride, everything's going to go smoothly, we're going to have no problems. Nothing works. So what am I attracting? What am I attracting? What does this tell me? Because I haven't figured it out yet. Why do we keep going through the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you get in the car with him,
Right.
Are you predetermining that that's going to happen? I'm just curious.
I don't think so, but it happens every time, and it's, you know, or practically every time. So yeah, maybe I am. I don't want to. I don't consciously predetermine it. I just, you know, as I say, it's only about 4 times a year. It's not like it's every week or every day or anything. But it seems to, he knows it riles me. So it riles his wife.
Exactly.
I mean, he
You
knows up everybody knows.
got an attraction right there.
Right.
Now, ask the invisible world to give you the full meaning of that attraction.
Okay. Yeah.
And give you a feeling of you loosening up what you're tightening in your life.
Right. Okay.
That's a secret. That's a definite tightening.
Yeah.
Well, so everybody in that car except for George needs untightened, needs loose. All of us. Okay.
There's a metaphor in it, you know?
You know, I was like that at one time. You know, I would refuse to use a seatbelt. You know.
Right.
Then,
And why?
I got a thought one day is what happens if someone ran into you and everything like this, you know, and I noticed myself making a jerk when I stopped one time, and I wasn't held back by the seatbelt, but it got close to hitting my head and everything. So I found a way to ease that up there. So I started using the seatbelt and everything. Mm-hmm. And you know, we have an attractions. We have all kinds of attractions with us, you know, and if it's really irritating, you know, then there's something to be concentrated on, you know, and just start doing it yourself. And when you think that you're irritated with other people, tell them I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to think differently now. And all you got to do is ask your being to think different.
Right.
It'll start working, because you got a habit that's been there for a long time.
Right.
And so it takes time to change that. And everybody think that they're Christians and everything like this, that it's going to change overnight. It doesn't change overnight. It took me about 4 or 5 years to really get comfortable with using a seatbelt.
Okay, thank you.
Habit.
Yep.
Something.
I love this conversation because it reminds me so much of my father-in-law. And I really think that he enjoyed getting people upset. And so he would do it on purpose all the time. And he would come and stay with us. And I remember being on the front porch, and he just started bad-mouthing his grandchildren and, all kinds of people. He was just bad-mouthing everybody. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to listen to this because it bothers me. And I said, so I'm going to go on in and just let me know when you're done. And I just left him on the front porch and I just went inside the house. And he stopped doing it around me. And it was, I didn't get upset with him or anything. I just removed myself from the situation. And I was picturing in my mind being in the car in your situation. And I was picturing myself just pulling over and not saying anything and not driving.
But usually I'm not
It just-
driving. My husband will drive.
Oh, oh my gosh, that's even,
I'm
that's,
as, as a former nurse, I have seen people eject, the results of people. Every
Oh,
day
yeah.
you out these people who and they reject it. They're not wearing their seatbelts. And I just think for the sake of his wife, who just goes incandescent when he starts, she said, you made me a solemn promise and you just don't care. And, because as I said, George, don't do this for me. Do it for yourself. Do it for your wife. Do it for your children. Do it for your grandchildren. Don't do it for me. But I think he just enjoys stirring the pot.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
audience want to go anywhere in the car.
He's
You can-
enjoying himself.
Sorry.
He's enjoying himself.
Exactly. He's enjoying himself at everybody else's expense. I've tried to get my head into a different place, like go into a meditation, just like, okay, I'm not part of this conversation. But sometimes it's more manageable than others.
My grandfather was that person, like we would get all at the table and then he'd come out and his was about the Bible. And so he was like, that was his, irritating people. And so he would just bring something out and he'd have the Bible right there and he'd, how they talk about Bible thumping, he would do that. He would, put it and he'd start, and I was like, as a little kid, I'd be like, oh God, he's doing it again. And it would be every visit, it would be the same thing. And he'd get the whole family out there, my grandmother's side. And my grandmother's side was very much, Christians and everything. So they knew what was in there, but he would just battle about it. And it was like ridiculous stuff that was like everybody had an agreement what was in it, and anyway, it was one of those things that you're cringing, as soon as it starts, it's like it doesn't matter what the subject is, but you got those people that will, keep trying to dig in and irritate and it just, and they enjoy it. It's like it's an enjoyable experience for them, but for everybody else, they're just like, God, he just stresses me out. But
The moment
I was gonna say I learned to start laughing at him. I just would laugh because it was so stressful that everybody was, with their eyebrows up and they were just, all in, fight or flight already. And so I would just do this and I'd just be like, Grandpa, oh my gosh, here we go again. And then I'd get up and I just leave the table, like what Marcia said. I would just leave the table and I'd be like, here we go, holy roller. You know, it was just like funny stuff, you know, and I'd walk away. And it kind of started to break the ice a little bit, you know, because it was like,
Humor is a great way to chip.
now it's a joke.
Like, yeah, humor is great.
And he knew at the end of his life, he knew he could not get, you know, he couldn't do his ploy with me. He knew that I was just like, you know, and we had very much high respects for each other at the end because of it. I mean, somehow he knew I wasn't playing that game with him, you know. And yeah, it's very interesting. It says right here, it was about habit. We are where we are because we are what we are, and we are what we are because our habitual thinking, nature of habit, and the force of habit. Wanted to say it. I just thought, you know, because we were talking about habits.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, habits. When we talk about radiation, so, you know, as attraction, radiation, so all those things, I mean, if you think about all the lifetimes, experiences, everything, why do we collect those experiences like this? As David said, we've been everything. So when, you know, Casey, as you were mentioning, you know, well, that person came to me because I can assist them, right? Sure, because we've been that and we know it very well. And you know, if there's a situation that requires just love without even words, or trying to tell someone what it is, just being in the presence of them, the energetic presence of love, of universal support. And when someone's in such a dire situation, you know.
There's a Buddhist monk, his name is Ajahn Brahm. He's actually English, but he moved to Australia, and he does YouTube. You can see his speaks, and I love his humor because he has British wit. Ajahn Brahm. And what I love, one thing that really resonated with listening in the last few years, is he said something that was so mind-opening, is our goal is not to cure people, it's to care for people. We don't need to cure. Just change that U to an A, and it makes a huge difference in people's lives. Like you said, Reverend Angie, just being there with a loving heart and not saying, you know, if you do this, if you do that, it's not necessary. We're not here to cure, we're here to care.
And you know, to take it a little bit further, is that when you get to the point you don't care what other people think, say, or do, you're in that space.
I mean, we come here with our own. It's not the same as another, right? So why would we try to change someone else? Because they have their own. That's like affecting a karmic deal that we, you know, we had our own setup, and to have someone come in and try to change that for us, that's inappropriate too. It's like, step off my block, buddy, because this is my learning lesson, right? This is what
Their journey.
Yeah,
Their journey. It's not our job to change your path. It's just our job to be the light and love. And if they want to move along with our light and love, so be it. If they want to move away from our light and love, so be it. Either way, I love them and I send them on their merry way.
Yeah. So beautiful.
And sometime along the path, they'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And it's a good idea that we allow them to figure that out. And silence is what helps you to do that.
Mhm. You know, I was just in a conversation about handling some business, and the person that kept sending me the information was, you know, a communication type person. So everything was all these words. And I was trying to narrow it down to just a couple sentences. And I was saying, are you saying this? And And then they would do the whole letter, and I'd be like, so are you saying this? And it couldn't, like, I mean, it was, I said, okay, let's just minimize our words. Just tell me exactly in a very short sentence, please tell me exactly what you're getting at. And it's because, we're spending all this extra time creating all of this, like David always talks about our words. Our words are so powerful, but adding in all of this extra creates confusion and, it's unnecessary. I know it looks pretty, but it's so unnecessary where you just want to get the straight information and move forward. A lot of time wasted.
It sounds like he was coming from a Confucius over explanation, and you're going from a Taoist simplicity place.
And being okay.
I love that.
And just being okay with it, right? Just as we said, don't try to change someone, but I was like really trying to, shorten up the, what I was minimalizing, right? Being the minimalist.
And when I say I'm A-OK, I'm right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting when you start narrowing things down. You want the world to narrow it down too, but that's not exactly how it would be. Being okay with that too. Any other thoughts on this?
Oh, there's a couple,
There's a lot.
there's a couple 100,000.
Yeah.
Well,
I love this. This is beautiful. This is fun.
It is. Jackie? Yeah.
I'm just saying, I know the law of attraction or wishing works. Sounds silly, but when I was looking for curtains for my previous house and I tried various different things and nothing worked, and I'm putting it out to the universe, please let me help me find the right curtains, help me write the right. And they sent me to this particular shop in this particular place. I swear it. I was going to go somewhere else, and I kept going, no. You got to go there. You got to go there. Got to go there. There is an attraction out there where you put out your wish, and then they give you this answer. And if you're listening, because sometimes I listen, but I don't always understand. But this time I somehow understood, and I went there and I said, well, I don't quite know why I'm here because I don't think they sell curtains. Well, they did, and I got the ideal pair, which was wonderful. So the universe does put out that, help me here. Here's the attraction. We put you together. I know that works. And sometimes when I go out shopping for things for the house, specific items, I say to the universe, this is what I really need. Don't quite know where to find them. And I swear they send me there and they make them available, which is amazing. It's so wonderful. So yeah, there's definitely a law of putting it out and attracting it. So
Well, you know how we use the words like having an intention, for everything in life, we know what we want, right? We know what we are creating. And that's why it's so good to just spend that, quiet time visualizing, use the imagery, like you're talking about your curtains, right? You're visualizing, those are the type of curtains I want. It's going to look on this wall. It's going to be this size. Okay, universe, help me find it. And trusting it, like you said, I didn't know to go in this. Does this even have it? Like, having, when we talk about the faith or whatnot, having the knowing that they're guiding, like, it's like that, you're on the road and they're guiding you to this other street. And you're like, why am I turning down this street? I always go, okay, let's go that way. You'll sensing what's correct, and then it just opens and opens and opens. The doors are opening. You're like with the flow. You're in the flow of your universal. It's amazing. Someone had asked me once, so what does intention mean? And I was like, that's interesting. I said, well, think about what you imagine. What do you imagine? How do you have an intention? Is you create something and then that it's that and focus on it. It was a very interesting thing for me because I just assumed the world knew what having an intention was. And so when someone said that, I was like, I had to back up and go, well, close your eyes, It's like you kind of have to run through your spiel of how you get there. And so that was interesting too. Silence. So we're ready. We're ready to be in that energy of attraction, radiation. All right, so let's get comfortable and close our eyes and let us concentrate on our breath. As this breath moves through the nostrils, it relaxes each muscle, nerve, and vessel in our being. This breath is what sustains you. It is the breath of life. Feel the relaxation that this breath brings to your being. It turns into something very beautiful called love. You recognize this love as being alive and active with each breath. Just relax and recognize. As you exhale, you release physical toxins and negative attitudes you have toward yourself and all people concerned. Relax, recognize, and release. As you're releasing the toxins and attitudes, they are being dispersed into the I am. Gently allow this breath to settle in the feet area. This is the understanding part of our being. As you understand yourself clearly, then you understand the world that you move in. Just relax, recognize, and release. Feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leave as this breath moves to the ankles and up the legs. Feeling all agitations and irritations being dissolved. Relax, recognize, and release. As this breath moves to the hip area, relax and release that which does not belong to you. The hip represents independent movement. You are now free to move in life and free to be you. Very gently allowing this breath to move to the base of the spine and the small of the back. Allow this breath to stay here for a few moments. This breath becomes stronger and stronger, for this is the strength area. Strength is confidence, security, and firmness. Now allow the breath to move up the spine. As this breath touches all vertebrae, muscles, and nerves, you feel enlightened, giving up the burdens that do not belong to you and taking care of what does belong to you. As this breath moves up the spine, you feel confident, secure, and firm. Relax, recognize, and release that which does not belong to you. As this breath touches the shoulders, feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leaving. The shoulders represent responsibility in life, and know with each breath that you are doing your responsibility in life with freedom and ease. You also allow all other people to do their responsibilities with the same freedom and ease. Allowing this breath now to move down the arms, relaxing, recognizing, and releasing, reaching the hands. The hands are the giving and receiving part of our being. We give to receive and receive to give. As this breath is in the hands area, feel the breath that is between your hands and how good this breath feels. This goodness is you, and you are extremely good. Take this goodness that is you and place it in the lower abdomen area. This greatest gift of all lies here, life. You are full of life, and life is full of you. Life is happiness, health, and wealth. You eliminate all that hinders you from life, and you put order into your life. Order is the adjusting of all mind powers, moving in harmonious manner for life. Very gently now, allow this breath to move to the stomach area. The stomach is the judgment area. Let us fully and freely release all mistakes and judgments that we have made that have led to mistaken action, replace with correct judgments that lead to correct action. Relax, recognize, and release. Feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leaving, allowing this breath to move to the heart area. The heart is the love area of our being. With each beat of the heart, love moves to each part of our body. We radiate this love, and wherever we go, this radiance is felt, and the universe gives back to you that radiance. Relaxing, recognizing, and releasing that which does not belong to you. Very gently allowing this breath to move to the throat area. The throat is the power area in life. You are in command of your life, and you are at ease with that command. Relax, recognize, and release that which does not belong to you. Very gently allowing this breath to move to the back of the head, to the very crown of your head. From the tips of your toes to the crown of your head, you are relaxing, recognizing, and releasing. As you're in this relaxed state, think, feel, or see yourself walking down a path. You feel the path beneath your feet. You notice the grass that lines this path. You notice the sun twinkling through the trees that also line this path. As you walk down the path, there's a gentle breeze that touches your body. This is the breath of life. It allows you to take the next step in knowing yourself. And as you walk down the path, there's a clearing in front of you. And as you walk into the clearing, the softness of the grass touches your feet. Knowing that you are very protected and grounded, you walk into the clearing. There's a body of water that is crystal clear and warm to your touch. There are paths that lead away from the clearing. And as you walk to the body of water, if you choose to go into the water, submerging completely in the water, breathing freely and all organs functioning properly, know that you are very protected. If you choose to lay beside the water, absorbing the four elements, the sun, water, air, and earth, or you may choose to explore the paths, feel free to do so and enjoy. remembering all that you have seen, sensed, felt, or heard, and feeling very refreshed and keen. You notice your healing clarity from your healing circle. You notice that every one of us surround that healing circle, and you notice that we become one healing breath. One healing breath. We direct this healing breath to the healing box, and for all the souls making and have made transition, all the institutes of health that state that peace is the journey and destination, all those affected by the winds, the rains, the snows, and the movements of the earth, the fires, that they are all protected and healed. As you're aware of your healing presence, and as you move toward your path, you notice anything changed, moved, or taken away. And when you're on your path to your mental and physical consciousness becomes aware, remembering all that you have seen, felt, and heard, and feeling very refreshed, alert, and keen. And when your mental and physical consciousness is fully aware, open your eyes. Look at that. Just like that. How did everybody do? Whoever wants to go first.
I can go first because I was really gone. I mean, I was just, Angie, I never heard anything that you said in that entire meditation. I think I heard maybe one sentence until we came back, but I was, oh man, I was in a receiving a lot of healing, and I am very grateful. And so thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Love that. Love that. Go ahead, Jackie.
So I had a lovely meditation. I walked the road in our village I lived in, and there's a big pond there, and there's a castle that's about 700 years old, and they used to do a lot of weddings and everything there. But I walked there every day. So I sat there and I looked at the castle, and I said, I just love this spot so much. Why am I here in this particular meditation? And then it was about radiate, what you put out there. Even though I love the village, it's beautiful, beautiful spot in the Scottish countryside. It was just gorgeous, nice people, great community, just lovely. Although I loved it and I miss it, my wish to be with my family, because they're all here in the States, all the children and grandchildren, was stronger than my wish to stay there. And I think those emanations, those radiations from me that took a while to work, saying, okay, I've got to leave this behind in order to go there and start all over again, just from scratch at my age, that I think the universe was listening to me and said, because I don't think I ever consciously made that decision, we're going to move. Things happened that made it that we moved, but I thought my husband will never agree, but he was the one in the end that said, yes, we're going. So I think the universe heard these radiations, these emanations, and worked to help this happen. So that was my very nice meditation. Thank you.
Very good. Casey, thank you.
I picked up information that was speaking to me regarding dislikes and likes can become bondage in our mind, and to have a hard dislike or a hard like creates barriers. And the more you can ease into and release unbiasedly the likes and dislikes, karma dissolves. Surrendering to the universe in sweet surrender, everything will flow and work out. The more you release dislikes and likes and surrender to the universe, everything will flow as it should. That's what I got.
add to that. It is, right? It just is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey. Reverend David.
Well, I went to my favorite place, peace. And I'm now living that peace. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. As you were talking about likes and dislikes and all the above and letting go, we're gonna move into the vacuum law next week. So you think of a vacuum, right? You know, go in your closet. You know, don't need that, don't need that. You know, that's just a visual of it. But you know, we move on from things, and you were saying heavy likes or heavy dislikes. Heavy anything or heavy, you know, if it's not in balance, what are we doing with it? You know, cancel, or get rid of, or donate, or throw away. You know, what are we worried about throwing something away? Like David, when he's done with his clothes, he throws them away. He doesn't donate them. He's like, why would I give them my energy? Why would I want it to go out somewhere? Just, it's done, it's finished, you know? And interesting, but the vacuum law is a very powerful tool to keep reminding ourselves that we have. And going through that every year with this class really helps me. You know, I always think about my closet and I go, yeah, all that stuff I have in there, or shoes that are no longer any good, but I keep them in there. It's like, no, this is the time, you know, that energy is complete. So anyway, we'll enjoy that next week. If there's, you're gonna say
That reminded me of, and when I was 190 pounds, and then I got rid of 100 pounds,
oh yeah, wow.
and I got stuff, I took it out of my closet, I put it on my bed, and the bed was just overflow. And I just went down to the dump and got rid of it.
Wow.
What a light.
Yeah. And how do we feel when we're finished with that? You know, when we, even in office or something, and we clear out all the papers, you know, all those envelopes that we, for some reason, we keep an envelope that a bill was in or something. You just toss you feel so good, you know, it's like that.
You just did that to me.
I did. I actually, yeah. There's some stuff in here. Wow. At any rate, that's the energy we are moving into. So be good with yourself and pat yourself on the back when you just know when you are complete, and never get rid of something that you're unsure about. If you're in the middle of that, like, oh, I still like it a lot, I think you might need to keep that for a little while longer. You know, getting rid of something and feeling like you miss something isn't healthy either. So I'll leave you with that, and we'll continue on with our gratitude again, and have a beautiful Saturday. Mother, Father, God, we give gratitude and thank yous for this day. We ask for your infinite light of protection to be with us and through us as we go on our path. So when we meet those on our passage, we share the love that is so abundant. We give thanks for this day. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you,
Rick.
everybody.
Have a good week. We'll
Yep.
see you.
Thanks,
Wear your
everybody.
seatbelt.
Wear your seatbelt.
Bye, everybody. Mwah. Much love to you all.
Bye-bye.